Have you ever kept a small container of holy water in your home? Perhaps you received it as holy water from a place of worship, hoping it would bring blessings and spiritual protection. You should know that the way you interact with intention-laden objects, like this particular water, can have subtle but profound effects on your home, your mind, and your life. It could bring harmony or, if misunderstood, create a subtle uneasiness. In this video, thanks to Buddhist wisdom and a deep understanding of the nature of the mind, we will see how intention and awareness transform a simple element like water into a vehicle of peace, purification, and clarity. We will explore how ancient principles can illuminate modern practices, and even how figures like Pope Francis have touched on universal themes of right intention. And if you stick around until the end, you'll discover how to cultivate protective, beneficial energy in your environment, starting with yourself. But before we go any further, please like the video if you're ready to deepen your spiritual understanding, and share it with anyone you think might benefit from this ancient wisdom. The early morning sun painted the treetops gold surrounding the tranquil Zen monastery of Komyoji, the temple of shining light. Within its meditation garden, carefully raked to reflect cosmic order, sat the elderly abbot, the venerable Ryokan. His eyes, deep as ancient wells, had seen the passing of countless seasons and the changing tides of human suffering. A young monk, Kenji, approached with hesitant steps, clutching a small glass vial containing clear water. His face was a mixture of reverence and confusion. "Master," Kenji began, his voice barely above a whisper, "I have heard much about holy water and holy water. They are said to bring great blessings and offer powerful spiritual protection to one's home. I have also read, in texts from other traditions, of a respected spiritual leader, the now deceased Pope Francis, admonishing about the proper use of such water. He stressed the importance of the right intention for its effectiveness, especially for the purification of environments and people. I am confused, Master. How does Buddhist wisdom interpret these concepts? Water is water, and yet, is there something that escapes my understanding regarding its ability to bring such blessings?" Ryokan slowly looked up, a faint smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. He nodded, inviting Kenji to sit on the smooth stone in front of him. "Ah, Kenji," the old monk murmured, his voice as calm as the breath of dawn. "You look at that little container and wonder about its essence, about the holy water, and its potential influence on your home. It is a wise question. Water, in its purity, reflects the nature of our mind. It can be calm and clear, or agitated and turbid." The words of Pope Francis, although coming from a different path than ours, touch on a universal truth. The power does not reside in the object itself, be it holy water or otherwise, but in the intention and awareness that we project onto it. True spiritual protection and deep purification come from a cultivated mind. Buddhist wisdom teaches us to look at the origin of these blessings. Kenji listened intently. "Many, I have been told," Ryokan continued, "keep such water in their homes, perhaps near the entrance like a silent guardian. But the inconvenient truth, as that distant master also wisely observed, is that most people, regardless of their beliefs, make mistakes in their approach to these symbols, wasting their potential not because the object loses its virtue, but because the mind is not aligned with its deepest essence." "Imagine," Ryokan said, pointing to a bamboo swaying gently in the breeze, "holding in your hands an instrument capable of attuning your home to the symphony of the universe, of bringing peace where there is inner conflict, of improving rest and strengthening the serenity of those who dwell there. But if this instrument is left in a corner, dusty from carelessness, or used mechanically, without heart, how could it express its melody?" Ryokan continued, "Pope Francis, known for his simplicity and his deep connection with what he called the divine, taught that water treated with reverence has real power, much greater than one might imagine. This is not superstition or magical amulets. Water, and every element consecrated by our attention and our pure intention, works through the resonance of our mind and the clarity of our intent. Its effectiveness depends on how we use it, and above all, on the quality of the mind that employs it." The first mistake, Ryokan explained, and perhaps the most common even outside of specific religious traditions, is to possess a symbol of purity, like this water, but not to integrate it consciously into one's life. Many receive it, carefully store it, and then forget it, remembering it only in moments of crisis or fear. But cultivating inner peace, Kenji, is like tending a garden. It requires daily attention. Negative influences, or rather, our own destructive mental habits, are like weeds. If we don't regularly weed them out with the practice of mindfulness, they will choke out the flowers of serenity. Pope Francis, it is said, insisted on regularity. In our way, this translates into constant practice. It does not require a grand act, but a small gesture done with full presence. If you choose to use water as a focal point, then let it be a daily reminder. In the morning, as you touch or see it, renew your intention to cultivate a clear mind and a compassionate heart for the day. In the evening, let it be a symbol of washing away accumulated tensions, preparing for a restful sleep. It is not the water itself that works the miracle, but the mind that, through that symbol, realigns itself to its highest principles. Kenji nodded slowly, beginning to see the core of the argument. The second great mistake, the abbot continued, is to use such symbols as if they were amulets, without true intention or presence of mind. Some may sprinkle the water mechanically, as one would spray perfume, without realizing that the true blessing is not in the liquid, but in the quality of mind that accompanies the gesture. Pope Francis stressed that water does not work by magic, but by the faith of the one who uses it and the consecration he receives. From our point of view, faith is a deep trust in the possibility of transformation of our mind, and consecration is the very act of infusing an object or an action with pure intention and awareness. Whenever you interact with a symbol that represents purity or protection for you, Ryokan advised, accompany the gesture with a clear intention. It doesn't have to be a formal prayer if that's not on your path, but a moment of recollection. Think clearly about what you want to cultivate: peace, clarity, compassion. Visualize how the essence of these qualities spreads into your space, starting from your heart. This conscious act transforms an automatic gesture into a powerful exercise in mental focus. The third mistake, Ryokan said, his eyes scanning the young monk gently, is to focus only on the external environment, forgetting that the first temple to be purified and harmonized is our own body-mind complex. Before blessing your home, bless yourself, not with an external ritual for its own sake, but by cultivating awareness of breathing, loving kindness toward yourself, clear understanding of your thoughts and emotions. If your being is a turmoil, how can you hope to bring true peace outward? A simple gesture, like touching water and then putting your fingers to your forehead, to your heart, can serve as a reminder to cultivate clear thoughts and an open heart. It is a spiritual armor that is put on from the inside. The abbot paused, letting his words sink in Kenji's mind. The sun was higher now, and the garden was bright. Then there is the matter of entrances. Ryokan continued, the doors and windows of the house, which that spiritual master considered vulnerable points. In our language, Kenji, the real doors and windows are our senses. Through them, the world enters us and we interact with the world. Protecting these entrances does not mean sealing them hermetically, but cultivating right attention to what we allow into our minds and how we respond. If you choose to use water as a symbol near a physical door, let it remind you to be aware of the energies, words, and intentions that you carry in and out of your home. Let it be an invitation to cross that threshold with mindfulness, leaving behind distractions and negativities that you have unconsciously cultivated. And what about night rest? Ryokan smiled. Many suffer from restless sleep, nightmares, or wake up tired. Pope Francis, you told us, taught that hours of sleep are moments of particular vulnerability. In our view, the quality of sleep often reflects the quality of the mind during waking. If the mind is agitated by worries and attachments, sleep will be disturbed. Blessing your bed with water or any other personal ritual can be a way to create a sacred space for rest. But the real blessing is to calm the mind before bed, a brief meditation, reflecting on the good deeds of the day, letting go of burdens. water can be the seal of this intention, a symbol of the purity and peace you invite into your rest. Finally, Kenji, and here Ryokan's voice became particularly tender. The greatest mistake, or rather, the most significant omission, is to forget to actively radiate our care and compassion toward the most vulnerable members of our community, be they children, the elderly, or the sick. Pope Francis, it is said, had a special concern for them. Children, in their openness, are like sponges, absorbing the atmosphere around them. The elderly and the sick can feel fragile. Blessing them is not just an external act, but an extension of our practice of metta, loving kindness. If you use water, let it be a vehicle of your purest intention of well-being and comfort for them. A gentle touch on the forehead, accompanied by a thought of peace, can convey much more than 1,000 words. This act of love strengthens bonds and cultivates an environment of support and care. Ryokan took a sip of tea that another novice had discreetly brought. When you begin to use a symbol like water or any other focal point, with awareness and right intention, following these universal principles that even masters of other paths have intuited, you can expect transformations. Not magical changes, Kenji, but the natural fruit of the cultivation of the mind. The first transformation, he explained, is an environment of greater peace and harmony. Useless arguments decrease, communication improves, because you yourself become a center of calm. The water, or the symbol you choose, becomes a constant reminder of your inner practice. The second is deeper rest, a mind less cluttered with dust. As the Pope called it, rests better, and good rest is essential to physical and emotional health. Then there is protection from negative influences. This, Kenji, is not protection from external demons, but from our own mental afflictions, greed, hatred, delusion. By purifying the mind, these negative influences lose their power over us. Physical and emotional health also tends to strengthen. A peaceful mind supports a healthy body. It is not the water that heals, but the inner peace that allows the body's natural self-healing abilities to function better. Perhaps the most profound transformation, Ryokan concluded, is a more tangible perception of the true nature of reality, of the interconnectedness of all things. What some call the presence of God, we call the clear vision of the Dharma. Prayer becomes deeper when it is imbued with understanding, and there is a clearer sense of purpose when one lives in harmony with one's deepest values. The conscious use of a symbol like water opens the eyes of the soul, or rather, of wisdom, to perceive more clearly. Remember, Kenji, the abbot said with a final warm look, these transformations require perseverance and a sincere faith in your ability to cultivate your mind. Water in itself is just water. It is the blessing of your conscious intention and the clarity of your mind that gives it its power. As the wise Pope Francis said, paraphrasing a universal truth, sacramentals or simples, as we would say, work according to the measure of our faith, our open-mindedness, and our dedication.